As children, we learn the true meaning of being a hero. Being a hero requires great sacrifice for others, not just ourselves. We learned about the heroes of Jamaica's past and how much of themselves and their lives they had to give in building a nation we should be proud to call home. They believed in a Jamaica that was more than just a country, more than just an island, more than land surrounded by water. They believed in a dream of a free nation of people, a nation built on the foundation of their sacrifices, a nation of many people working as one, a nation that would continue to produce legends and nation builders that serve towards that vision. As children, we were also taught the national pledge, a solemn promise, an undertaking. I would like to believe Sir Hugh Sherlock, while writing this pledge, understood the vision and dreams of our heroes. It's clear being a hero is too much to ever ask any one citizen. Luckily, the pledge does not require heroics of any of us. It merely asks that we honor our heroes by striving to advance our nation and ultimately inspire the world, like they and many Jamaicans have done. It's important we remember those words. These words. Before God and all mankind, I pledge love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body in service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. If you are like me, a Jamaican born and raised on this land, maybe you will remember saying those words, singing that song in a classroom or some general assembly. If so, like me, you made a pledge. Somehow it seems like many of us have forgotten that. The crime and violence, the indiscipline and short-sightedness, the corruption, the lack of respect for our beautiful lands we are blessed with, and the waters that surround and nurtures us. We have to do better. Let us honor our heroes so that they would not have sacrificed so much in vain. I hope this video can make a difference to even one soul. If so, it would all be worth it. If you feel the way I do, share it. May my voice become yours. Thanks for watching.
Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk.
Good evening, Jamaica. Good evening to the listeners across the diaspora. Welcome to another edition of the Make We Talk program, where we track the issues that matters most to our country and our people. Tonight, we turn our attention to the heartbreaking situation unfolding in Westmoreland. 185 residents of Westmoreland is being housed in the Petersfield High School. After the passing of Hurricane Melissa, their families and seniors and children who have been displaced, many with their homes completely destroyed and have nowhere to go. As we stand by to join, our special guest this evening is Professor Floyd Morris, Opposition Spokesperson on Housing, and he's also a senator in the House of Representatives. But we're going to start the program this evening with an issue that we're being faced with. Many of us is asking the question, what has the Labor Ministry done so far to assist our people? Well, what we get to understand that more than 40,000 household assistance following the passage of Hurricane Melissa that was done by the Ministry of Labor. Up to December 9th, my birthday, over 40,000 household assistance have been completed following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. This is up from 17,000 household damage assessment conducted up to November 19th. This according to the Labor Minister, Colonel Charles Jr. I want to play something here for you.
We have recorded 40,144 household damage assessments completed. We have 544 assessors trained and operating on our platform, and we anticipate to double that amount. Cabinet has approved the scaling up of household damage assessment submission that was made recently, which will see us having the ministry's integrated assessment acceleration strategy supported by ministries, departments, and agencies that have field capacity to assist us in completing the remaining household damage assessments.
The minister was speaking at a Jamaica House press conference on Wednesday. Minister Charles Jr. says more assessment have been done in 1 month since Hurricane Melissa than were done in 8 weeks after Hurricane Beryl in 2004. Sorry for the misreading there.
As a nation, we were able to do a little over 19,000 assessments in what would be between 6 to 8 months. We have doubled that amount of assessments in 1 month. And that is, to put in context, the level of upscaling in terms of efficiency, capacity, and focus that we have now, and also lessons learned from the event that we had July of last year. And also to remember that in the first 2 weeks post the Hurricane Melissa, our focus then was distribution.
Meanwhile, Minister Charles Jr. said the ministry has spent over $200 million to provide food for ongoing recovery effort.
As at the 9th of December 2025, total expenditure related to food procurement under the as at
I do apologize. I think there's something wrong here.
I agree with RC.
Well, let's there is something went wrong with the audio clip in there. But basically you're hearing what the Minister Charles Jr. is saying. Now this evening we're going to dig deep into what is going on in Westmoreland. I came on this program, and I told you all that there is a humanitarian crisis looming in Western Jamaica. And nobody pay me any mind. The opposition spokesperson on housing, Professor Senator Floyd Morris, will be our special guest this evening as we dig deep in what is going on in Westmoreland. There are many people that have been left homeless because of this hurricane. And until now, you hear nothing. If you do hear something from the government pertaining to assist these people, you ask yourself the question, are these people sleeping? You hear nothing. Many Jamaicans, it's coming on to Christmas, and I hear Minister Tavares said that remember when I told you you're going to get bus off a bus off a bus? You're going to get light after light after light. So tell me something now. It's good and done to get back the light in the affected areas. But when you get back the light, where is the people going to put the light? Where are they going to put the light? They don't have a house. They don't have a roof over their head. Many of our citizens in our country are sleeping out in the element of the night. The element of the night. While many of us are sleeping in the comfort of our bed or warm blankets and so forth, many of our citizens in our country, in Westmoreland, in St. Elizabeth, in Hanover, in Trelawney, in St. Anne, Miss P, good night to you, ma'am. I hope you're listening to me. Miss P lose her roof. She need help. She's an ardent listener to this program. We're trying to do our best is what we can do to assist her. She needs some zinc and some 2-before. She lost her roof. And this government, and people must say I must stop talking bad about the country. I'm not talking bad about the country. How many weeks now since Hurricane Melissa has passed? And nothing has been done to assist our people, in a sense, to get proper housing. A caring country and a caring government would put them somewhere. The $1.4 billion that Darrell Vaz used, waste taxpayers' money to buy some old dilapidated buses. That $1.4 billion right now could help our people in a hotel setting. Our people have nowhere to live. And same way, our artists, a Spice, a Vive Cartel, and many others can go to hardwares and truck off a truck going on with building materials, whether to St. Elizabeth or Westmoreland to help people. What is this government doing? More than every day they have these willy-nilly press conferences that make no sense. They have these willy-nilly press conferences that makes no sense. And our people are sleeping out in the element of the night. I came on this program and I told you all, if something is not done in Western Jamaica, there's a humanitarian crisis looming. It happened. I came on this program and I said to them, if something is not being done, there's going to be an outbreak of some disease or the other. See there? Leptospirosis break out down there. And when you come on here to speak, people are saying, you're bringing down the government, you're bringing down the country. We mustn't speak the truth. We're not lying about things, we're speaking the truth. We're speaking the truth. We're standing by to join Opposition Spokesperson on Housing, Senator Floyd Morris, who's going to come on and speak to us. 185 residents of Westmoreland is being sheltered in the Petersfield High School. The government is planning to move them, to put them on a tent on the playfield. We're being told that the playfield, whenever it's rain, it flood out. So in 2025, after you walk hills and valleys, and all 2 o'clock a morning time, you're up and down, looking vote from the people of this country, claim that you love. Now, we can see who truly love us. You walk hills and valleys for the September 3rd election. You climb all Mount Everest or Blue Mountain Peak to get your vote. While our people have gone through a natural disaster, and many of them tonight are sleeping out in the element of the night. And because these people of the Vumva, Van the Vumva V, do not know what it's like to feel hardship, they don't care about the Jamaican people. How many months has gone, how many weeks has gone since this hurricane? And people are still living in shelters. And you're planning to move the people. To put them out on the playfield. Out of the school, yes, because school is gonna come back in session come January or after Christmas. Still January. But my question tonight to those who are in authority in our country, why can't we, same way you can find money to loan JPS, why can't we find some money to pay a hotel to host our people? You're telling me that the money you spend to buy these old dilapidated buses, the money you spend to loan JPS is too good for the Jamaican people who put you in the parliament of this country? Is this the country that our forefathers has fought for? Is this the country that our forefathers has fought for? What is going on? Our forefathers walk the hills and valleys of this country for the people of this country. And those who are put now to govern us pretend as if they love us. And how many weeks after this hurricane, and our Jamaican people are still living in the element of the night. Our Jamaican people are still living in the elements of the night. And those who are in authority is saying that when we come on social media, we're giving misinformation. And them not afraid of nobody. One said they not give us bus after bus. Now it's light after light. How long? How long shall we in this country come to the reality that those who have put over us do not care about we the people? We have an opportunity to do the greatest thing of our lifetime, and we didn't do it. But as we stand here, as we sit here, as we the people, the American Constitution speaks about we the people, as we the people in this country, Jamaica, face the hardship of not having a roof over our heads. And those who believe are those who continue pressing or pushing the narrative and saying, oh, we love you. We love you. We put the Jamaican people first. One of them who love to say Jamaica, the Jamaican people. Where is he? Where is that minister who love to say the Jamaican people? Where is he? He is the same one who is telling the 185 residents who are at Petersfield, who's at the Petersfield High School shelter, that they're going to move them from there and put them on that tent on the playfield. We're being told that when rain falls, that playfield is flooded out. Pure water. You can find money to loan JPS, but you can't find money to pay a hotel. You still can't carry the care package go there. Yes, some more people are not behavior, I agree with you. But at least show them that you care. Show them that you care. Put our people into a hotel. Move them from the element of the night. We don't want the arrogance of a prime minister or a minister of local government. We need leaders, caring leaders. People, leaders who put their people first. That's what we need in this country. We need people who care for the rights of the Jamaican people. We need people who care for us. When they are hungry, when we are hungry, they are hungry too. But we are the cause of what is going on in this country. Because we worship these people as if they are demigods. God said, you shall have no other God but me. Because he's a jealous God. We the people. We the people. We the people. Many of our friends and many of our brothers and sisters tonight either going without food, going tonight without a bed to lay on, left up into the element of the night because they have no roof. They have no water to bathe. And the Jamaican people must understand one thing. Very few people of the effluence of society went down to either Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, or wherever. Very few. Have you seen any of them go down there and say, look here, you come, stay with me till we can get to know somewhere? You see anybody like that? You see anybody of the Vom Vavant and the Vom Vavi of Narbrook and Upper St. Andrew? Huh? You see any of them do that? Do you see the Prime Minister rent a house and put some people in and pay it out of his own pocket? They have a telethon a couple nights ago. Did you hear of a politician donate $1 million to the cause in this country? Huh? Let me see what's going on with Senator Morris, because I need him to come on now. Huh? Do you see? You know what is going on? In the law, in the telethon that they have you seen any of these politicians take up $1 million and donate to the rebuildjamaica.com? Have you seen Minister Tavares take up $1 million and donate to the cause of rebuilding this country and to help somebody in Western Jamaica? Have you seen any of these so-called politicians who go around and how they love the people of this country? Have you seen any of them? In the telethon that happened a couple weeks ago, have you heard of a Jamaican politician donating any money to the cause to help our brothers and sisters who are in shelters, who are left out to the element of the night? Have you seen any of them? Have you heard of any of them donating to the cause to rebuild a house? Or have you heard of any of them buying a container house? Have you heard of Christopher Tufton or Christopher Tufton? Have you heard about Darrell Vaz? Have you heard about Desmond McKenzie? Are any of them donating any houses to any other people? But you will talk and you have some people who live up in Narbrook. And when you talk, they say, yeah, I'm a dirty comrade. I'm a this, I'm a that. Have you seen or heard of any of our politicians in this country on both sides of the fence donate a house to any of the Jamaican people who have a house tonight? Have you seen any? Have you heard about any? Have you heard about people who own gas stations? And if they run up their mouth, have they bought a container house and give the people of this country? The people who lives in Narbrook and Cherry Garden and Beverly Hills is poor, humble Jamaicans. Out of their little and nothing, they give something. The same Jamaicans that they don't want to sit in the parliament in the diaspora, they're the one who's stepping up to the plate. How many of our politicians in this country has donated to the cause of helping to rebuild this country? How many give something? Maybe they give privately, I don't know. How many of them call the people who have container houses in Jamaica and said, listen to me, my family and I, we're going to donate 3 houses, 3 container houses to 3 family. How many? And they come up every day with this damn stupidness about, no, we love the Jamaican people. I can't the minister, the Jamaican people. Desmond McKenzie, the Jamaican people. Have you heard about Desmond McKenzie giving anybody anything? Have you heard of any of these politicians? But you know, when we will wake up in this country, it's going to be too late. When we the people, we the Jamaican people, when are we going to wake up? Very few of these people who elect in the parliament truly love us. This country is at a crossroad. I said it on this program, you know, after the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. I said it, that there's a humanitarian crisis looming in Western Jamaica. But nobody pay me in the man because Jeffrey more too big. Nobody pay me in the mind. Because according to them, me a comrade. Go check in the voters list. And so what if I'm a comrade? The truth must be spoken, because when I already cuss PNP too. How many? The question tonight we're asking, how many of our politicians in this country either donate to the telethon they had, or said, we are going to purchase 3 container homes, or we're going to build 3 houses for 3 family. But every time election come around, we like a damn fool run up and down. Run up and down. We're standing by to join Senator Floyd Morris, Opposition Spokesperson on Housing, to speak about 185 residents are still living in shelter at the Petersfield High School. And what we're being told, that they plan to move them from there to put them in a tent on the playing field, the play field. We're also being told, which of that I'm from Westmoreland, that when it rains, the field is waterlogged. So I don't know. And when you ask the government side to come on, you ask Marlon Morgan to come on your program, they don't want to come on your program. And them say one label your program, comrade program. But when you invite them to come on the program, they don't want to come. Because what? They're afraid of Ratigan and Jeffrey Tavares? Because we're going to back up in the corner and ask them some serious questions. Huh? We're not kunumuno around here. We're not kunumuno around here. We ask serious questions that's affecting the people of this country. Because we're not a member from the political party. We are Jamaicans, and Jamaica come first for us. We the people, we the Jamaican people have faced hardship over and over again. But we stand tall, because we shall bounce back. And I hope when we bounce back with some sense in our heads. Because we the people put them there. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. I don't have a moderator. So like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe. I think Walking in Divine Purpose must be sick or something. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk program. We're still going to try and get a hold. For 2 days now, we've been saying that we're going to have Professor Morris on. I spoke to him this morning. I sent him the link this evening. He says he's gonna come on. We're still waiting on him to come on. And I'm pretty much sure he will come on. So we talk. We put our mouth, the Make We Talk program, put our money where our mouth is. Not because we don't come out and brag and boast that we give this and give that. We have been doing it. A telethon happening in this country. And you don't hear. Is that so? I thought, anyway. We don't hear in the telethon that Darrell Vaz and the Vaz family, or Desmond McKenzie and the McKenzie family, or Tufton and the Tufton family, we're going to donate a house to one family here, one family there, or donate 3 houses to 3 families. We don't hear that. But they're the one gonna come in 5 years' time with their mouth sweet like a sugar. To sweet up you, the people who was left homeless, by Hurricane Melissa. But you know, if we, the people of this country, do not stand for what we believe in, then they will continue to take us for a bunch of kunumunu. Just a moment here, please. We must not stand for what these people are giving us. Our black brothers and sisters, our flesh and blood, because many of us have family members whose roof is gone, just like me. We have friends, children, babies, elderlies, who have nowhere tonight. And those people, these politicians will take all bulldozer and take how much people to take Sister Tem and Aunt Mary to the house to go vote. Aunt Mary and Sister Tem roof gone. What are you doing? I hope we wake up in this country, you know, and stop this stupidness about me a die-hearted this and die-hearted that. Our people are sleeping out in the element. The element tonight. How many weeks after Hurricane Melissa? And until now, you don't hear about the evacuation plan to move the people from where they are, to put them in a proper housing facility. They love to borrow money from the Chinese. How much money come into this country? You're saying to me all the money coming to this country is just for to rebuild the schools and to rebuild the hospitals and blah 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 blah. What about the people? You find money. JPS has been ripping the people off in this country From time immemorial, this country, Jamaica, and the Jamaican people pay the highest energy in anywhere in the world. The Jamaican people pay the highest light bill anywhere in the world. They sell JPS silicon nothing in the 1990s to one company with belly up in the United States. When the man done with JPS, he couldn't go back up pay off the United States government and open a power plant in Texas. Now this is one of him. They done there. Beryl came, the same shebang around happened. He couldn't hold up to Beryl. They raised light bill for the people. See that Melissa come? What happened now? Taxpayers' money have a loan to JPS to build back power plants. What happened to JPS money? That money they give to JPS or loan to JPS, whatever they do it, could help the people in St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland and St. James and Hanover. I trust nothing that Minister Tavares says. I trust nothing that Minister Tavares has come out of his mouth. Nothing. But I'm not seeing, hold on there for me. I am not seeing Professor, hold on there for me, people. I am not seeing him. No. Hold on there. Hold on there for me. Just a moment here for me. Let me get a hold of Professor Morris. I'm going to take a quick commercial break here. Don't go anywhere from me, please, because I want to hear what Professor Morris is saying. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Please do not go anywhere.
Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares.
We're standing by. Professor Morris have a little technical difficulties, but he's going to come on. Just bear with us, please, as we stand by to join Professor Floyd Morris, Opposition Spokesperson on Housing, to speak to us, his take on what is going on in Western Jamaica, where 185 Jamaicans are still living at the Petersfield High School shelter after Hurricane Melissa. Oh, here he is. Thank God. Here is Professor Morrison now. Let me Let me get, oh, there he is. Professor, how you doing?
Not too bad, Jeffrey.
Come up a
Not
little bit
too
more. Yes, there you go. Professor
All right.
Morrison, let me formally introduce you to everybody. Let me just do this. Just bear with me here, please. Good evening. Good evening, Jamaica. Good evening to the listeners in the diaspora. Welcome to another edition of the Make We Talk program, where we track the issues that matter to the people of our country, Jamaica. Tonight, we turn our attention to a heartbreaking situation unfolding in Western Jamaica, in Westmoreland. 185 residents are still living in shelters at the Petersfield High School since the passing of Hurricane Melissa. There are families, there are senior citizens, there are children that have been displaced. Many homes are completely destroyed. To help us unpack these questions tonight, we're joined by none other than an outspoken Jamaican, a man of the soil, a man who truly loves his Jamaican people, none other than Professor Senator Floyd Morris, Opposition Spokesperson on Housing. Professor Morris, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. And, I'm very happy to be on your program.
Professor Morris, speak to us about what is going on in Westmoreland.
Well, you know that Westmoreland is ground zero. The hurricane landed in New Hope, in the constituency of Eastern Westmoreland.
Yes.
And it really devastated the parish and adjoining parishes, Hanover, St. Elizabeth, St. James, into Trelawney, and even Manchester got some of the major hits as well.
Yes, sir.
And because Westmoreland is ground zero, a lot of the homes have been destroyed because in Westmoreland, there is a problem with land tenure, and the people build their board houses on stilts that have to be moved around from time to time because of the situation with land tenure. Now, at the Petersfield High School, it is one of the biggest shelters in the parish, and those individuals were badly affected by the hurricane. And understandably, there is the need to reopen the school, but also government has a duty to make sure that it takes care of every citizen in the post-disaster period. Our constitution gives every citizen the right to to shelter. And in this regard, the citizens of Central Westmoreland, Petersfield in particular, have to get proper shelter. And the government has given them up until the 31st of December to find shelter. This,
Professor,
for me, is very disconcerting.
Yes,
sir.
Senator Morris, how can the government give the people until the 31st to find housing? They need to find something and put the people for the time being.
Well, what they have said to the people is that, those who can find somewhere to rent, they should go ahead and they will provide some subsidy. And also they propose to build a tent on the playfield. Now here is where we are.
Waterlogged.
The playfield is subject to flooding. Whenever it rains, the area is flooded because of the surface that is there, So, the people, you take them out of the school environment and put them on the playfield and put them in a situation that I mean, is an affront to the dignity of the people. You can imagine school in session and a child who is going to school, the same school, living on their tent. You know how our children behave. Those
Yes.
children would be jeered, those children would be mocked, and you don't want to put the children in that sort of situation. So there needs to be a greater humanity on the part of the government where the situation is concerned. And, you know, the government has to look at other facilities that it might have in the parish and make it available to them. There might be hotels that are around. The government can forge some collaboration with those hotels because a lot of them don't have any occupancy at the moment. We have to make sure that, you know, we look at those individuals who have houses that were destroyed. They might have lost their roofs and so forth. How can we provide them with the building material and
Yes.
support from the JDF, for example, to expedite the building or reconstruction of their homes? And those who don't have any homes at all, the government have to provide those individuals with some form of shelter because you don't want to place them in a precarious position in the post-hurricane era. So, you know, I mean, there needs to be some more thought in terms of what to do. The government is trying to move with speed to say, yes, it has recovered faster and better. But in the process of trying to move with speed, it is inconveniencing and it is leaving a lot of people in distress. And we want them to adopt a different approach, a more
Let me
humane
ask,
approach.
yeah, let me ask you this question though, Senator. We know Westmoreland is one of the hardest hit parish. What long-term housing project changes would you like to be implemented in that community, like Petersfield and the environs? What would you like to see the government put in place the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa?
First, we have to start with land tenureship because, you know, you can't build a house without land. And we know from history that there were many plantations in Westmoreland in the post-slavery era.
Yes.
And Black people never got any significant portion of the land, if any at all. And what you have now is a situation where you have a lot of informal settlement developing in Westmoreland, or people having to lease land, which they have leased for a long period of time. And you will recall in the election, one of the transformational policies that the PNP had put forward was to change the 1833 legislation that stipulate that if you live on government land, you have to live on it the 60 years before you can apply for ownership. We propose to change that to 25 years. And that would make a significant portion of Jamaicans at the time, when we propose it, have access to government land. Now, we are saying implement a similar policy initiative in these areas by making the amendment to the law and make government land that are not agricultural based land, you know, make it available to our people. And even if it is that it's large acreages for agriculture, we can designate portions of it for our people to live, because, you know, we cannot continue in this situation where people don't live on land where they have tenureship. And we would start there, and we would make sure that we do proper assessment to determine those who can afford loans from the NHT, and we would make sure that they have uh, um, those loans subsidized, because it would have to be a mixture of grant and loan, so that you cushion the effects of the people. And those who cannot afford, the state will have to give those individuals a start, give them a starter home and let them take over and build over time. So you're going to give them the land and you're going to give them a starter home with the hope that they will expand over time. And we have to make sure that when we are building, there are certain strictures in the construction, because we have to make sure that how the roofs are built are given serious treatment. It cannot be that we are going to just put on a roof without making sure the necessary protocols are followed to ensure that if we have another category 5 hurricane, and based on the predictions from the scientists, we are going to be having these hurricanes with greater regularity. And so we have to make sure that we build in anticipation of these storms.
Yeah,
And
you know,
so
Professor.
building, yes.
You know something, Professor? You touch on something that it was brought to my attention some time ago. A video was put out and my wife saw the video and she showed it to me. And there are some houses, and I don't think this is AI generated. There are some houses that was built by the NHT. Somewhere in Westmoreland or in St. Elizabeth or Trelawney or somewhere there. And when the video was done, Senator, there was no steel in the structure of the house. Only black and so look up at the cement. So the question that we need to ask the NHT minister, senator, is who inspect these houses when they're being built? Because if this is the case, that we continue using NHT money to build houses, and as far as I'm concerned, these houses being built by NHT now, it's not low-income houses for the poor, pauperizing people like myself here.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you're poor and pauperizing, Jeff, but I'm not aware. I'm not aware of that video, but I am aware of a development in a community called Edmund Ridge. Yes. Edmund Ridge in St. James, that the Prime Minister, when he was opening up that development, boasted with great bombast that this was the housing development of the future. And when Hurricane Melissa came, it lifted the roofs of many of those houses and ripped through the partitions in the houses that were built by dry walls, and they just disintegrated. And a number of residents were affected by the storm, and there is a section of that housing development as well where people have paid for the units, but they have not moved into the units. And those houses are to be handed over, I think, in January. And a lot of them, a significant portion of them, when I visited there, the roofs had gone, the dry walls inside there were damaged because having exposed to so many inches of rain, it damaged the once drywall is exposed to rain, the consequences are significant. And so, that housing development was built by the Housing Agency of Jamaica. And the Prime Minister at the time boasted that this was the new norm and the new type of housing development. He went as far as comparing it to the Operation Pride homes. And when we look at the Operation Pride houses that were built right across the country, in Bel Air, in Mount Edgecombe, in Pines of Karachi, in Melrose, all over, none of them were subject to the sort of damage that was done by Hurricane Melissa. And so, I guess it must have been a humbling experience for the PM, if there's such a word to be used in a vocabulary with him, But the truth is that we need to look back at the regulations in terms of how we are building houses in this country. It has to be built, and there needs to be the requisite supervision of construction of these houses to make sure that contractors are adhering to what has been approved. Because in a lot of cases, the parish council approve the development, and because an individual might be seen as a well-established contractor, nobody follows up, in terms of supervising what is taking place. And so you end up with these substandard houses that are being built. And the truth is, in the case of Westmoreland, again, we talk about the whole situation of land tenure. And because of that, a lot of board houses are in Westmoreland. And people build on stilts and posts. And, we always talk about going to Westmoreland and seeing the houses being moved on those trailer trucks from time to time.
Those days.
And that is because of the situation of tenureship of land. And we have to do better for our people. I am just watching to see what is the government going to do where this situation of land tenure is concerned for our people, because it is a major contributor to the demolition that has impacted the people in Westmoreland. And until we address that problem, the problem is going to be repeated, because the people are going to be building again on stilts, and the hurricane is going to come back again, and it is going to damage those board houses. It is not to say that board houses aren't good houses to be built in a country such as Jamaica. It is how we build, it is how we design, because if the people have tenure, they can build a house on a solid concrete base. When they build and they lay the foundation, they put the board before that holds the board to the concrete, make sure that it is bolted down, and then when you are putting on the roof, you build with what we in St. Mary call a hip roof. So, in the middle, it is higher than that of the sides, right? And, to the side, it would form what you call an equilateral triangle when you finish the construction. So when you build that way, it helps to reinforce the roof, and you would also put in place your roof straps to tie to the house. It is a solid means of building a board house but you have to make sure that the people own the land so that they
Yes.
can build with a concrete base.
Yes.
And I understand what I understand. It's not that people can't build with a concrete base on land that they lease, but they have to get permission from the owner of the land to build with that sort of concrete base. We
Yes.
have to make sure that we put in place some strictures, some guidelines that is going to determine how we are building in the way forward. And it must be adhered to. It must be adhered to. I know some people are going to say that, boy, we're going to be hard on poor people. But yes, we have to make sure that everybody, the big man, the small man, adhere to the guidelines when they are outlined.
Professor, don't go anywhere, Professor. There's an item of news coming in that I have to give to the people. Hold on for me, please, sir.
Okay, thank you.
This is Make We Talk Breaking News.
An item of news just coming in. The Trump administration has announced a series of sanctions on 3 of Venezuela's president family members, his wife, nephew, and a business partner, and 6 shipping company owned, operating in Venezuela. That's here we go. The Trump administration has announced sanctions on 3 of Venezuela's president's family members, his wife, nephew, a businessman, and 6 shipping company operating in Venezuela oil sector. As the news just coming into us that the Trump administration has handed down sanction on Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro's family members, his wife, nephew, and a businessman that has 6 shipping company operating in Venezuela's oil sector. That is news just coming to us in the Make We Talk News Center.
This is Make We Talk Breaking News.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking to Professor Floyd Morris. He is the opposition spokesperson on housing, and we're speaking about 185 Jamaicans who was affected by Hurricane Melissa is still in shelter at the Petersfield High School in Westmoreland. The government is planning to pitch a tent on the playfield on the school compound to put the people in. Now, I am from Westmoreland, and I know for a fact that the Petersfield High School playfield is always a waterlogged when the rain fall. Professor Morris, if you was the Minister of Housing now, sir, what would you say to the Prime Minister about the people who was affected with this hurricane through the length and breadth of St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. James, Hanover, and so forth, especially Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth? What would you say to him? Would you advise him to evacuate the people, sir?
Well, you have to do a number of things. And I mean, immediately, in the immediate aftermath, you have to make sure that you put in place as much temporary shelter as possible, right? To hold the people. So, you have to get your tents out. But that is a temporary situation, right?
Yes.
Immediately after that, you have to do a quick assessment to see who have been damaged and so forth, right? And the extent. So some people will be partially damaged. Some people will be fully damaged. But whatever it is now, you're going to put in place measures to assist those individuals. You're going to give people building vouchers to make sure that they go and get material, zinc, lumber to restart. But whilst you do all of that, you have to have some preconditions as to how they are going to be rebuilding. You also have to make sure that you get in place the measures to expedite construction of those vulnerable citizens. Start with those first and quick. And you have to put the community action groups to test, make sure that you get those builders in communities to help build back the units of those vulnerable and marginalized citizens, and you work them with the military to get those construction going. Then now, for those who can afford, to be rebuilt and to get loans at NHP, we have to make sure we expedite the whole process of construction there and get in contractors who have the form that they can build out houses quickly. There is the technology that will allow for contractors to build a unit a day. And even if they don't have it here, you expedite the process of them importing it and getting it in the island so that we can start mass construction. Under the Housing Act, it gives the minister certain powers that will allow for quick construction of houses. They will have to look at those provisions under the Housing Act to see how they can expedite the process of construction that is going to be involved slum clearance and all of those things, and to push and drive the whole construction of houses at this time. The PNP, if the PNP was the government, we would have been well down the wicket in terms of just reordering and reconstructing the houses that have been affected in these affected parishes. And another thing that has to happen, the government must stop taking elected representatives from the opposition as kunumunus. These are individuals who were elected, duly elected by the people, and to give them $10 million each to say, use this to help with housing construction. It is an affront to the members of parliament, because if you should say, all right, you're going to give each individual $50,000 assistance. $50,000, Jeffrey, can buy 10 sheet of zinc to put on the people them roof,
You're kidding me?
$50,000 can buy 6 sheet of ply to put on the house them, right? What is happening here is a setup of the members of parliament with this $10 million. Yes, it is a start, but it needs far more, because at $50,000, and these are figures that I am putting forward, at $50,000, it means that 10 million can only assist 200 individuals in the constituency. Now, take, for example, a member of parliament like Dayton Campbell, who, there are over 30,000 people in that constituency in Westmoreland. And I'm certain that a vast majority of them have been affected by this hurricane, because based on what I have been told, when you look at New Hope, White House, looking right back up in the hills of Westmoreland, you can see as far as the eyes can look up the hill. And those houses have been just demolished. So there's a lot of assistance that needs to be provided in terms of housing. So if you give 200 people, how are you going to determine who are those 200 people to get the help? And what you're doing is setting up the members of parliament, setting them up, and the government have to come better in terms of the amount of money that they are making available to the members of parliament to provide assistance in terms of the housing grant I'm speaking.
Professor, you touched on a point a while ago about board houses. Many Jamaicans are saying that the board houses in Westmoreland was built under the PNP administration. And they're saying now they blame the government for all of these board houses. You know, nobody's blaming the government for any board houses, you know. But the fact of the matter, that's what the people could afford at the time. Your take on that, Senator?
No, I'm not aware of the PNP building board houses for people, because as a government, you build through the NHT, you do your housing construction through NHT and the Housing Agency of Jamaica.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, the units that are built by those institutions are block and steel in the main. What you might see is inside the units as they try to capitalize on modern techniques. You might find that drywall is used for the interior of the house in order to cut back on cost. There was an initiative some time ago with Food for the Poor, where, you know, extremely poor individuals who don't have any form of housing would get some support from the Food for the Poor, and it would be routed through members of parliament and other faith-based organizations. That is a private-public partnership with the government and the Food for the Poor, but it is unfair to say that this was these are houses that are built by the PNP, because the JLP people, member of parliaments under the JLP, have benefited from it and continue to give individuals those units as well. You know, so I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the issue of board housing is not the sole problem, because as I told you, those houses that were built in Edmund Ridge,
yes,
those houses, the outer walls are concrete, block and steel. And the internal part of the house built out of drywall, and they were all flattened. So, I mean, we have to be careful as to how we do the analysis and how we seek to cast blame on individuals. The houses that are demolished in Westmoreland, you see, history.
Yes, sir.
History is impacting on Westmoreland in a significant way. Because a lot of the sugar plantations were there in Westmoreland.
Yes,
and so
money must in all those places.
Absolutely. A lot of individuals worked on those sugar plantations over a period of time. It is since the diversification of the economy there in Westmoreland that you see more people pushing towards the hotel industry. But those people still live in substandard housing conditions because of their history, because of how they grew up. And again, it points back to the whole situation of land tenureship in the parish. So the people build their houses and they build them on poles, they build them on stilts. So, I mean, the hurricane came and, you know, it just pitched them over, you know. So that is why we have to make sure that we build back better and stronger. And the area, the location where people choose to build their houses, we also have to look at that. We have to make sure that we look at the proper drainage systems in the respective parishes. We have to have consistent mitigation program going on to clear drains and all of those things. We have to live as if a hurricane is coming tomorrow, because that is the nature of climate change. That is a part of the consequence of climate change. I am hearing and reading literature that is pointing to people clamoring for another category for measuring hurricanes, category 6, because of the intensity of the storm. I was amazed when I heard them saying that when Hurricane Melissa landed in New Hope, when it landed in Jamaica, it was felt as if it was an earthquake by seismologists from far distance across the world. So you must understand the intensity of this hurricane that came and hit Jamaica. And we have to prepare ourselves for that. Last year, it was Beryl. This year is Melissa. We don't know what can happen in 2026.
Senator Morris, as the opposition spokesperson on housing, if you were in power now, would you, at this fundamental moment of what is going on in this country, with Melissa and so forth, would you right now start preparing yourself for the hurricane season of 2026?
Absolutely. 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 And we have to start that by making sure that all our houses are those that are built with zinc roof and so forth, that they are hurricane strapped. We have to make sure that we push for as much as possible that, new buildings are built with slab roof, or if they are going to use zinc roof, it is designed in a particular way, and also they have to be strapped onto the building, right? I would have to be working with my colleagues in the Ministry of Local Government and other areas to make sure that we start the process of mitigation. It has to be ongoing. We have to be making sure that the drains are consistently cleaned and so forth, But definitely you have to start preparing as one hurricane season ends. You have to start preparation for the other. And you have to plan. And you have to plan as if you hear the meteorologists say that a hurricane is coming next week.
Professor, there is none of Jamaica's hurricane shelter are hurricane proof in a sense. You are the opposition spokesperson on housing, and I know maybe you don't have enough weight to recommend, but you can truly recommend to them in a sense. Would you recommend now that all hurricane shelters in this country be hurricane proof in a sense? And also, Jamaica has 3 counties, Cornwall, Middlesex, and Surrey. You remember back in the days when you have the Public Works Department, that when there's a natural disaster, one of the counties that got hit don't have to wait and government to come down from Kingston with bulldozers. They start clear road already. Would you recommend that come back in place, sir?
Well, I am a firm believer. I'm not articulating a PNP position on this,
Yeah.
Because I'm a firm believer in the old Public Works Department. The Public Works Department of the past was based in every parish, and they used to design and build roads that are resilient and much more effective than the paper plate roads that are being built now. You know, and so I I am very empathetic where those that institution is concerned, and I think that we have to look back at how we can make sure that the parishes have sufficient equipment that they can move with speed, you know. And if it is one of the things about Hurricane Melissa, you know, Jeffrey, is that it's as if Hurricane Melissa was just waiting on Jamaica to get its act together, right? Because I remember I had an exam on the Tuesday, the 22nd of, or the 21st of October.
Yeah.
That exam was cancelled and postponed by the University of the West Indies because we all had to shut down the institution and prepare for the hurricane because it was heading for Jamaica. So that was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. The hurricane came the Tuesday. And I am saying the hurricane was moving along the coast, the southeast coast, and saying to Jamaica, get your act together. At first, they thought that it was going to come and give Kingston a hit and St. Catherine. It never happened. Then they projected for Clarendon. Then they projected for Manchester. Then they projected for St. Elizabeth. And it eventually made landfall in Westmoreland.
New Hope.
Yes. By that time, government could have pushed a lot of resources from Kingston down into places like Manchester, you know, so that and in the immediate aftermath of the hurricane, you would be able to move resources, whether it be machinery or food or so forth, right? Move them so that you can clear and you can distribute and all of that sort of thing, you know. But I don't think that happened. I don't think that happened.
The other question I asked you, Professor Morris, do you think it's time for the government now to build schools that is hurricane, in a sense, hurricane proof and shelters, other shelters? And also, do you think that they should build in the 3 counties a place that can store foods and generators and so forth, and have it manned 24/7, and you know, continue to replenish it? What do you think?
Yes, I mean, especially when it is coming on to the hurricane period, because we know there is a greater predictability where hurricanes are concerned now. You know, the science has improved and it's improving. So we know that between June
hold on to me,
and
Professor.
November.
Professor, hold a minute for me. I'm losing your audio, Professor. I don't know what's going
You're
on. I'm losing your audio. Yes,
Okay.
as if are you using your laptop?
No, I'm not using my laptop. I'm wondering if my battery is going to, but just hold 1 second. Let me
Please, I'll do that.
get my phone plugged in the charger. All right. Let me get this.
We're speaking to Opposition Spokesperson on Housing, Professor Senator Floyd Morris. He's speaking to us on the shelters in Westmoreland, and also, should the government start thinking about building hurricane shelter that is hurricane proof in a sense? And also, you know, should they build in the 3 counties a place that can store foods and generators and so forth.
Yes.
Hopefully,
All right, I'm with you now.
yes.
I'm with you now, Jeffrey.
Yes, sir. So do you think it's time for them now to build hurricane-proof shelters and so forth and other stuff?
Well, definitely. And in the Senate the other day, I heard the Minister of Education speaking to that they are looking at building back those schools with the requisite hurricane preparedness in mind, and they are going to be looking at improving the other schools to bolster their resilience in terms of natural disasters like hurricane. But definitely it has to happen because the schools are used as shelters across the island.
Mm-hmm. Professor Morris, in all that is going on now, do you think the government is dragging their foot in assisting the people of Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, and so forth?
Based on the reports that I've received and based on the data that have been presented to me, the Prime Minister and the ministers have indicated that 1 million individuals have been affected by the hurricane. Yet from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, they pointed out that 165,000 food packages were given to people across the island. This is 165,000 out of 1 million. That is a mere 16.5%. It's the data that I am going by. Thankfully, you see, Jamaicans, I tell you, we love one another. And if you touch any one of us, you know what is going to happen. So thankfully, caring Jamaicans from other parts of the island, from Kingston, from St. Catherine, from Clarendon, from Manchester, St. Anne, Portland, St. Thomas, all over have been rallying and going to give support to the people of St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. And it is the NGOs, it is the churches, it is caring individuals that have done the bulk of their rescue and support for the people out there. Right? And so when government is claiming that it has been responding, I give them a failing grade based on their efforts thus far, because yes, it is a category 5 hurricane, but when you look at the extent of support that has been given to the people by government, I can't give them a whole lot, a big score. It is the church community, it is private individuals, it is the NGOs that have rallied to the rescue of the people.
Senator Morris, I know that you're not the opposition spokesperson on energy. Or maybe I should ask you in a private capacity then, not as a senator, yes. Your take on the government loaning the JPS how much money to do whatever they're supposed to do to get back the country to getting light and so forth. JPS has been collecting money over the years, insurance money over the years from the Jamaican people. Do you believe that the government should be loaning taxpayers' money to JPS at this time?
Well, you know, I mean, I can tell you, it's not that I am not hearing the PNP saying that they are opposed to the loan. What we are looking at is the prudency of the transaction, because JPSCO has indicated that it is going to cost X amount of dollars to effect the repairs across the island. And the government is coming up with a loan to JPSCO for $150 million. It means that there is a gap. If I go to any financial institution and say that I am going to build a house, and the cost of that house is 20 million.
Yes.
But the loan that I am seeking is $10 million. The financial institution is going to want to get some form of understanding as to where the other $10 million is going to come from. And that is what the PNP is asking. What is happening to the balance of funds that are needed to effect full repairs to the parishes that have been affected? And bear in mind that the government, again with another minister who have this passion to be very bombast and use
Arrogant.
a lot of arrogance, came out and indicated that they are not going to renew the license for JPS. Now, with that sort of indication to the market, JPSCO is going to be in problem. And they are in problem in terms of securing the requisite funding, because it's 2 years to go and no financial institution, no investor is going to invest in a company where they know that they have 2 years left on their contract and the government is not inclined to renew their license. And that has placed the JPSCO in a precarious position. And because we are a diligent political organization, we have seen that and asking the appropriate questions, because we know that at the end of the day, JPSCO is not going to have sufficient funds to effect the necessary repairs to the grid. And I heard Philip Paulwell asking, which parishes are you going to be prepared to abandon when this 150 million is exhausted and you have no other source of funding? Prudent questions to be asked by an opposition. And I dare say, no amount of hubrism, no amount of arrogance from Darrell Vaz or any member of the JLP is going to cover the People's National Party in terms of executing our responsibility to scrutinize the public's resources and make sure that the pertinent questions are asked. The monies in Jamaica don't belong to Darren Vaz or his private cronies. It is the people who pay their taxes, and we have to make sure that we scrutinize what is taking place. We want the people to get back electricity, and we want them to get it back fast. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that any debt that you're going to put the Jamaican people in, we can account for it properly, and it is going to be prudent.
Senator, you know, you said something a while ago, you know, that I have been uttering on this program for many years, and even since the aftermath of this school bus saga with Minister Darrell Vaz. Minister Vaz believed that taxpayers' money belongs to him, you know.
Yes.
And we mustn't ask for it. We mustn't ask about it because it's his money.
It's his money. It's
You
his
know,
money. Well, on a Twitter post today, I asked them publicly, since the government is saying that the People's National Party and its supporters must not question anything that it does. Since they are saying that, would they be fine if the supporters and the well-wishers of the party, would it be fine for them to hold back their taxes and just allow JLP supporters to pay their taxes and be able to speak in this country? Would it be fine and would it be acceptable to them?
But Professor Morrison, the Jamaican people must let Darrell Vaz and everybody know, you know, that Jamaica is a democracy governed by the rule of law. And if we, the people, we, the Jamaican people, can ask their government about our money. The money don't belongs to Andrew Holness, Darrell Vaz, nor their mouthpiece, Marlon Morgan. It belongs to the people.
And,
you know,
and I say, you know, a humble government, a caring government, would say would have said and approach it this way. Yes, you know, you have a legitimate concern as opposition. You have a legitimate concern. But we have to balance everything. And we take into consideration what you say, and we are going to be proceeding along this path, but rest assured that we are going to make sure that for our 150 million US dollars, it is secured. If they had adopted that approach, you know, it would have changed the conversation. But it seems as if the Minister of Energy is very limited in his vocabulary. And so the word that naturally comes to his mouth is bad mind. Bad mind. Because every time you question or you talk about issues affecting the governance of the country, what comes to his mouth is bad mind. What is bad-minded about that? What is bad-minded about that? So, am I to understand that in 1999, when the PNP decided that they were going to change the license, the 50-year monopoly license that was granted to Jamaica Telephone Company in 1988, the PNP decided to change that. The JLP at the time opposed it. Am I to understand that they were bad-minded? Were they bad-minded? So this nonsense that is being exposed by Darrell, you know, I mean, and I tell people, you know, I mean, I don't get personal with these things. I mean, I talk policy, but Darrell must understand that he's a servant of the people. And I think that them winning the election on September 3rd has gotten to the head of some of them. But
Did
I
they truly win the
want
election,
all
Professor?
governments, well, they, based on how our constitution and our democracy operates, they are now the government because they passed the post first. So, I mean, we accept the results and we are moving on. But they must understand that governments come and governments go, and they better make sure that they know what they are doing, because it was a mere 1.5% that separated the PNP from the JLP. 10,000 votes in terms of the popular votes. And if you look at the add up the votes in 4 constituencies that could have shifted the balance of power, a mere 1,000 votes separated the PNP from the JLP in terms of the victory. So they must understand that the PNP have significant power out there. And you would have seen the 20, what I call the fabulous 28, how they have been operating in the Senate, in the Parliament. And they
Yes.
have been very strident. They have been very vocal. They are doing their research and they are pressing for answers and they are holding the government accountable. And we are going to tell them that none of them can stop us from asking the appropriate questions where the governance of our country is concerned. Because Jamaica is not for a few of them. It is for all of us, and they have no more right. They have no more right to Jamaica than how myself and Mark Golding and Peter Bunting and Donna Scott Motley or any of the 36 members of the parliament from the PNP have. No more rights than what we have. I'm going to ask the questions.
Indeed. You know, Professor Morrison, as I wrap up here, I keep on saying this, that if it's some other modern democracy, Darrell Vaz wouldn't sit in the Parliament of Jamaica, And why I say that, you know why I say that? There would be an investigation launched into this $1.4 billion school bus issue. In which modern democracy, Senator Morris, $1.4 billion of taxpayers' money spent to buy these old dilapidated buses. And I know he can't show no receipt for them. He told the Jamaican people, ask Mark Golding for his birth certificate. What does birth certificate have to do with the school bus? He can't show us nothing. And now he's spending taxpayers' money to give to JPS. I must ask any questions about it, Professor Morrison?
Yes, and Mark Golding showed his birth certificate, which is his receipt to show that he's a legitimate Jamaican. And we spend taxpayers' money and we can't show nothing that is valid where those transactions are concerned.
Professor Morrison, as we wrap up now, sir, what would you want to say to the people of Western Jamaica and to the Jamaican diaspora who's listening to us from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean?
Well, I'm saying to the people of Eastern Westmoreland that, we are very much empathetic to their cause, and we are going to be pressing the government. We are not going to allow them to stand alone. I'm very pleased at how I see Zulika Jess, Dayton Campbell, Dwayne Vaz, Ian Hales. I am pleased at how the 2 ladies of Hanover and the Queen of the South in St. James, I am very proud as to how they have been standing up and defending the cause of the people. And I am looking forward, to working with them. I am certain that Portia Simpson Miller is very proud of those 4 female members of parliament in St. Elizabeth, St. James, and Hanover. Very proud of how they have been representing the people, because we see the traits of Portia manifesting in them. And we are not going to let them walk alone. We are going to be with them as they stand up for and represent the people in those constituencies, because they are duly elected, and no JLP member of parliament have any greater right to the parliament and to state resources than the 28 elected PNP members of parliament. And we are going to fight for what belongs to the people. And we say, stand firm, stand strong, because we are going to represent you all along.
That's the word of one of Jamaica's statesmen of all time, Senator Professor Floyd Morris. Thank you for coming onto the program, sir. I know at any time I call on you, sir, you're always willing to come on our program. And you promised me that you'll come on the program one of these days to speak about the constitutional reform thing and how the parliament rather works. So you let me know when you can do that, because the people are waiting on you, sir, to come on to speak about the parliament, because a lot of Jamaicans are upset of the way how the current Speaker of the House is handling members of the opposition as if they are her kids.
Yes.
We need to come on to speak to us some more about that.
Let us work on that as the New Year gift.
Indeed,
so
indeed.
We early in the new year, we work on that. All right?
Indeed. Professor Morrison, Merry Christmas when it comes to, and Happy New Year to you and your family.
Yes, same to you, and hail up Radigan for me. All right?
I will, sir. I think he's listening to us now, you know.
All right. Bless up.
All right,
All
sir.
right.
Professor Morrison, thanks for coming in, sir. Good.
Yes.
That's Professor Floyd Morrison there, opposition spokesperson on housing, coming to speak to us. His passion for the people of our country, Jamaica, and especially those who don't have a roof over their head tonight. He is very, very, very concerned about that. And he minced no words this evening to speaking on the behalf of the Voiceless Jamaicans who are over there in Western Jamaica, especially in Eastern Westmoreland. As you know, Eastern Westmoreland have always been a PNP stronghold. And, you know, it doesn't matter about PNP or jail. It's about the people now. And he stands for the people of Jamaica. For those who want to call in, you can call in 954-529-8030. If not, we're going to just close the program on tonight. There was a gentleman who was going to call in to ask a question. I sent him the message to call in, and he hasn't called back in. Professor is no longer with us. But you can still call 954-529-8030. That's the numbers to call into the program. And I just want you to call in if you wishes to speak about any issue. Miss P, good evening to you, Miss P. We have you in our prayers, and we are trying to do our best to make sure that you're okay. Miss P lost her roof. She didn't tell me to come on here and talk about, but I'm going to do it. She lost her roof, and we're trying to do our best to see if we can get Miss P her roof. Tomorrow is Friday. We're going to come on here again tomorrow because we're going to continue to speak about issues facing this country of ours. And as we close the program this afternoon, or this start tonight rather, I want to say to the listeners and to the people of Jamaica, in particular the people of Western Jamaica, our hearts are with you. We are doing our level best to stand by you. And in all of this, we must remember one thing, that we, the people of this Jamaica land we love, will continue to fight for a better Jamaica, that we can leave a better Jamaica for our children. And as we go through this Hurricane Melissa aftermath, let us rally around a single cause and a single purpose, to fight and to help our people. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Until you hear my voice again, may God bless you. And may God bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. Good night, everybody.
As children, we learn the true meaning of being a hero. Being a hero requires great sacrifice for others, not just ourselves. We learned about the heroes of Jamaica's past and how much of themselves and their lives they had to give in building a nation we should be proud to call home. They believed in a Jamaica that was more than just a country, more than just an island, more than land surrounded by water. They believed in a dream of a free nation of people. A nation built on the foundation of their sacrifices. A nation of many people working as one. A nation that would continue to produce legends and nation builders that serve towards that vision. As children, we were also taught the national pledge, a solemn promise, an undertaking. I would like to believe Sir Hugh Sherlock, while writing this pledge, understood the vision and dreams of our heroes. It's clear being a hero is too much to ever ask any one citizen. Luckily, the pledge does not require heroics of any of us. It merely asks that we honor our heroes by striving to advance our nation and ultimately inspire the world, like they and many Jamaicans have done. It's important we remember those words. These words. Before God and all mankind, I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body in service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. If you are like me, a Jamaican born and raised on this land, maybe you will remember saying those words, singing that song in a classroom or some general assembly. If so, like me, you made a pledge. Somehow it seems like many of us have forgotten that. the crime and violence, the indiscipline and short-sightedness, the corruption, the lack of respect for our beautiful lands we are blessed with, and the waters that surround and nurtures us. We have to do better. Let us honor our heroes so that they would not have sacrificed so much in vain. I hope this video can make a difference to even one soul. If so, it would all be worth it. If you feel the way I do, share it. May my voice become yours. Thanks for watching.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.